Leon Cooperman, of course, the well-known hedge fund manager, has got his family office now, and Elizabeth Warren, the presidential candidate. We should tell you, in a letter obtained by CNBC, the hedge fund titan writes, quote, "For you to suggest that capitalism is a dirty word and that these people as a group are ingrates who didn't earn their riches through strenuous effort and paradigm-shifting insights and now don't pull their weight societally indicates that you are either grossly uninformed or knowingly warping the facts for narrow political gain." That's actually an interesting letter. He writes well, Leon. I will
Yes, he does.
give him that. Thoughts?
Well, I think some of these arguments would be more powerful if they were not being made by billionaires. So I will say I'm not a billionaire, and I am opposed to the wealth tax. I think it raises all kinds of issues. I don't think you actually have to go to the question of whether billionaires deserve to be rich. I mean, nobody's going to win that argument, and partly because, look, they're billionaires. I think everybody would agree they deserve to be rich, and then there are those who feel, what lucky tree were they born under? Like, why did they get it? So I think it's a mistake to kind of go down that particular road, but I'm against the wealth tax. And I do feel he's touching on something. What is the essence of capitalism? It's kind of like many things we're questioning again, that we always took for granted, but it is healthy to have a debate about what are the benefits and the harms of capitalism. How does the system work? Why do we have the system that we do? And I think implicitly he's raising some of those questions, and that's a healthy debate.
Here's what I think's missing from the debate, or at least the way it's being framed, rather than it being candidate versus billionaire, or whether capitalism is broken, etc. What do the job creators actually have to say, right? The people that are having this debate, have you created jobs? Have you ever been in a position, heaven forbid, where you've had to let people go from their jobs? And that seems to me to be the part that's kind of missing from this, because that's the key to capitalism in the U.S., right? It's that job creation. Right, and it's, they contributed a massive amount towards an expanding economy.
Are we calling Leon a job creator?
I'm not even saying it's Cooperman necessarily, but I'm just saying that's missing from the debate.
I'm just asking, if that's the line, how many jobs do you have to create until you're called a job creator?
Look, I've been a longtime critic of hedge funds. So I don't
Leon, that's not a good place for Leon to be in terms of it. But he does cite a number of people in his letter, of course, who've created an awful lot of jobs, whether it's the likes of Michael Dell or Bill Gates or Mark Zuckerberg.
Right. And they have their arguments. But again, I think we don't really need to go there. There have been plenty of wealth taxes imposed around the world. And to the best of my knowledge, they've all been a failure. They've all been rolled back. In Europe, the experiments have not gone well. And why, as I've said before, why we have such an imperfect tax code that you could actually improve and generate a lot more revenue and have a much fairer system, why we need to leap out of that and start layering on this massive wealth tax, I really think it's a non-starter.
Speaking of taxes, final subject here,
yes.
Our president, my hometown Queens, his entire life, his entire career built on New York, but now he's decamping for Florida at some point. The SALT tax, he's leaving us with not being able to have any sort of ability to deduct that from our taxes.
Well, I happen to have given a talk in Palm Beach not long ago, and there was a big dinner of wealthy donors to the nonprofit organization where I was speaking. And much to my amazement, everybody there were New Yorkers. They were transplanted New Yorkers, and topic A was, we're all moving down here because of the tax situation. We're getting out of it. The taxes are too high. But of course, I was thinking to myself, many billionaires, millionaires in the crowd, and I'm thinking, they can't live wherever they want. It's like, you can't pay the tax. I'm living in New York, and I realize in absolute terms I'm not paying nearly as much, but probably on a percentage basis I'm paying a lot more. Isn't the point of being that rich you could live anywhere you want? So I don't get that, but I can tell you.
I've had that same conversation with extraordinarily wealthy people who even have talked about moving to Puerto Rico, a few of them. I'm like, why? Again, to that very point, where's the value consideration? But you know what? If you're focused on that is making lots of money, it's going to be extraordinarily important to you how much taxes you pay.
Right. I think it's kind of in their DNA.
And minimizing it. Yeah.
To minimize tax, and that's where they derive a lot of pleasure out of that. So I guess, and by the way, Trump is already spending a lot of time down there. He's hardly unique in assuming that he's as wealthy as he says he is, and he would be planting his flag down there. I don't think it's a personal slam on.
No, I mean,
Black
actually,
and-
Leon Cooperman also, right? He went down to Florida, too. I mean, the estate tax also plays into it, by the way, not just salt.
Well, and the president specifically also has had these investigations underway in the state of New York, and I don't think there's any love lost there in that specific relationship as well.
Yeah, I mean, look, New York is the ultimate blue state. He's not Mr. Popularity here. Although, again, one thing nice about New York, it's always tolerated, people from all over the place. I mean, he could still come here, he could have his dinners at, what's the restaurant he goes to with the red check tablecloth,
like
whatever.
21 Club.
The
yeah.
21 Club,
Yeah.
exactly. I mean, he can still inhabit a world that I think would be very congenial to him, even though the
Meanwhile,
state
what
may
happens
be
to the
hostile.
tax base of New York is a question with all those people leaving.
Yeah.
Although many of them are not making money anymore because they are near retirement.